The city of Los Angeles sparkled under its usual glamour, flashing lights, buzzing nightlife, and the lingering whispers of K-pop fans who had followed BTS members across continents. Yet, on this particular evening, something felt different. News outlets began buzzing, fan pages started exploding, and within minutes, the words "Taehyung left LA" trended worldwide. No one expected it. Not the paparazzi who had camped outside hotels. Not the fans who had waited tirelessly near the studio gates. And certainly not Jungkook, whose silence in the following hours spoke louder than any press release. Army across the globe held their breath, waiting for answers. Why did Taehyung leave so suddenly? Was it personal? Professional? Or something deeper, something only his closest friends, like Jungkook, would ever know? The story was no longer just about a sudden flight out of Los Angeles. It became about emotions, brotherhood, and the kind of bond that had carried BTS through the toughest storms. For many, this wasn't merely celebrity gossip. It was a chapter in a saga that ARMY had lived alongside their idols. And at the center of it all was Jungkook, the golden mogne, whose quiet but powerful response would leave millions of fans in tears. Just days before the shocking departure, Los Angeles had been buzzing with excitement. Taehyung, with his effortless charisma, had been spotted attending private gatherings, working on rumored collaborations, and even taking quiet strolls through the city streets. Fans who were lucky enough to catch a glimpse described him as radiant, almost glowing, someone who seemed at peace. Social media was flooded with updates. Blurry fan-captured photos of Taehyung sipping coffee in a quiet cafe. A short video of him laughing with staff outside a recording studio. Threads speculating whether he was preparing for a secret solo project. To the untrained eye, everything appeared normal. Taehyung was simply living, breathing, creating, as he always had. Yet, if one looked closer, there were subtle hints of restlessness. His smile, though wide, sometimes flickered with a trace of thoughtfulness. His footsteps, though confident, carried an unusual urgency. Those closest to him noticed it first. Crew members whispered that he was more contemplative than usual, spending late nights alone on the balcony, staring at the LA skyline. He was writing something in his notebook, one insider claimed. Nobody knew if it was lyrics, a letter, or just random thoughts. But he looked heavy, like his heart was carrying more than his smile could hide. Meanwhile, Jungkook had also been in the city, busy with his own commitments. Despite separate schedules, the two had been seen together more than once, sharing meals, driving around LA at night, even casually interacting with fans. Their bond, affectionately nicknamed Taehyung by ARMY, was stronger than ever. Or so it seemed. The calm before the storm was deceptive. Fans thought they were witnessing ordinary days in the lives of global superstars. But beneath the laughter, music, and flashing cameras, a storm was already brewing. And soon, it would catch everyone off guard. The moment the news broke, Taehyung departs Los Angeles suddenly, the world of ARMY erupted. Twitter lit up like wildfire. Hashtags like #WhereIsTaehyung, #Taehyung, and #ProtectTaehyung climbed into the top worldwide trends within minutes. Fan accounts posted side-by-side comparisons of his recent smiles, trying to decode whether they hid sadness. YouTubers rushed to upload explanation videos, each offering theories about why he left. Some believed it was a sudden schedule change, a last-minute call from Seoul. Others speculated it was related to personal matters, something private and deeply emotional. A few insisted it was health-related, though Big Hit gave no official statements. What made the situation even more intense was Jungkook's silence. Known for his occasional late-night live streams, he suddenly disappeared from social media. His Weverse posts stopped. His Instagram stories went dark. To ARMY, this silence was louder than any announcement. "He's hurting," one fan tweeted. "You can tell Jungkook feels something. This isn't just a casual departure. This is personal." Reddit threads turned into digital support groups, with ARMY comforting one another, sharing edits of happier Taehyung moments, and writing fan letters addressed to both. Some even organized online vigils, changing their profile pictures to black and white images of Taehyung and Jungkook as a sign of solidarity. For ARMY, this wasn't simply a celebrity update. It was an emotional earthquake. When one member of BTS moved, the fandom felt the ripple. When one member hurt, millions hurt along with them. And this time, the pain was amplified by mystery. In the days following Taehyung's sudden departure from Los Angeles, silence became Jungkook's loudest language. Fans knew him as someone who often expressed himself openly, through late-night live streams, playful Instagram stories, or spontaneous covers of songs. Yet this time, there was nothing. His absence from social media was like a dark curtain falling over ARMY's collective heart. For Jungkook, the departure wasn't just a schedule change. It was a personal blow. Taehyung wasn't just a bandmate, he was a brother, a confidant, someone who had stood beside him since their teenage years. To see him vanish without warning felt like a piece of himself had gone missing. Several insiders described the night Jungkook found out. He had just returned from a late practice session when the news reached him. He asked the staff twice if it was true. When they confirmed, he reportedly sat in silence, staring at the floor for several minutes. He didn't cry in front of the crew. Jungkook rarely showed his tears outside of safe spaces. But those who knew him best said he carried an unmistakable heaviness in his eyes. It was like watching someone try to smile with a broken heart. One insider recalled. A few days later, Jungkook finally appeared on Weverse Live. Fans expected his usual playful energy, teasing ARMY, singing songs, making jokes. But that night was different. He sat in a dimly lit room, hair unstyled, hoodie pulled over his head. He played soft background music but barely sang along. Instead, he spoke slowly, choosing his words with unusual care. "Sometimes people need time," he said quietly, his gaze shifting downward. "Even the ones closest to us. Sometimes they need space we don't understand." He didn't mention Taehyung by name, but ARMY knew. They always knew. As he spoke, his voice trembled ever so slightly. At one point, he stopped mid-sentence, pressed his lips together, and turned his head away from the camera. Fans caught the shimmer in his eyes before he wiped it quickly with the sleeve of his hoodie. Within minutes, clips of the livestream spread across Twitter with captions like, "He's holding back tears. Jungkook is really missing Taehyung. This silence hurts more than words." When Jungkook cries, ARMY cries with him. For many, Jungkook's quiet pain was harder to watch than any dramatic outburst. It was the kind of grief that didn't scream, it whispered. And whispers, as ARMY knew, could echo forever. To understand the weight of Jungkook's emotions, one must revisit the bond he shared with Taehyung. Musical Notes brothers, not just bandmates since debut, Taehyung and Jungkook had been inseparable. Though their personalities often contrasted, Taehyung with his spontaneous, artistic charm, and Jungkook with his disciplined, perfectionist drive, their differences only pulled them closer. Fans fondly remembered countless moments, Taehyung resting his head on Jungkook's shoulder during long flights. Jungkook rushing to protect Taehyung from fans pushing too close in airports. Their playful banter during interviews that often ended in laughter only they seemed to understand. These weren't just staged interactions for the camera. Staff confirmed their bond was genuine, describing them as two halves of the same coin. They argued, laughed, grew, and healed together. So when Taehyung left LA suddenly, Jungkook wasn't just losing a colleague for a few days. He was losing the daily presence of someone who felt like family. Taehyung moments that defined an era for ARMY. Taehyung wasn't just a ship, it was a symbol of friendship that transcended fame. Over the years, their bond gave fans countless memories, run BTS episodes where their teamwork made fans laugh until they cried. Concert stages where Taehyung would sneak glances at Jungkook mid-song, and Jungkook would grin back. Behind-the-scenes clips where they comforted each other during exhaustion or stress. Every memory became proof of a relationship that ran deeper than the stage lights. And now, with Taehyung gone, ARMY replayed those clips endlessly, searching for comfort. Edits flooded TikTok and Twitter, slow-motion videos of their happiest moments set to emotional ballads. Fans wrote captions like, "Even distance can't break their bond," and "Once brothers, always brothers." The brotherhood symbol for ARMY for millions around the world, Taehyung symbolized something rare, genuine connection in an industry often criticized for its artificiality. Their friendship reminded ARMY that real love, platonic brotherly love, could withstand fame, pressure, and distance. So when Jungkook showed even a glimpse of sadness, ARMY didn't just see an idol hurting. They saw a brother missing another brother. And it pierced their hearts. Fan letters and global support. In response, ARMY began organizing projects worldwide. Fans in Seoul set up message boards near Big Hit's office, writing letters addressed to both Jungkook and Taehyung in Los Angeles, a small group gathered at the very cafe